Have you ever felt like you're just drowning in textbooks, completely stressed out and on the edge of burnout, while you see other people who seem to just coast to straight A's? You are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to crack the code to academic success, and we're using the playbook of a guy who went from being labeled a poor student to finishing in the top 1% of his class, Adam Koo. Let's dive right in.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? You see that one student who just seems to get it. They're breezing through, getting top marks, while you're pulling all-nighters just trying to stay afloat. It can be so frustrating. So, what is their secret? Is there even a secret?
Just look at this contrast. It's night and day. On one side, you've got this vicious cycle of stress, cramming, panic, getting disappointing grades, and then total burnout. But on the other side, a completely different reality. The secret, as Adam Koo figured out, isn't being born a genius. It's about having a smarter strategy. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter.
So, who's going to be our guide on this journey? Well, it's a man who understands this struggle intimately because, he lived it himself. Let me introduce you to Adam Koo.
I mean, this timeline is just incredible. At age 12, Adam was literally labeled a poor student. But then at 13, something clicked. He learned a new set of strategies, these super learning skills, and he completely turned his academic career around. He ended up ranking in the top 1% at a really prestigious university. His story proves one super powerful thing. Academic success isn't some fixed trait you're born with. It is a skill that absolutely anyone can learn.
So what are these skills? How in the world did he do it? Well, it turns out that top students, the ones who get A's without the drama, they operate on a few core principles. Let's break down the actual formulas they use to get those top grades.
Okay, so it all boils down to these three powerful ideas. Number 1, be relentlessly consistent. Number 2, learn from every single mistake. And number 3, use tests as a strategic tool. Now, they might sound simple, but the way A students apply them makes all the difference in the world. So let's start with the foundation, the one that holds it all together, consistency.
And this right here, this is the bedrock. While most students think of studying as this mad dash to the finish line right before an exam, top students see it as a marathon. They spread their learning out across the entire year. So here's the thing, they aren't even studying more, they're just studying more consistently, which completely avoids that last-minute panic. And here's what that actually looks like day to day. These aren't huge, time-consuming chores. They're small daily habits. I mean, imagine reading a chapter before class. All of a sudden, the lecture isn't brand new information, it's just reinforcing what you already know. Or how about reviewing your notes right after class? Studies show we forget like 80% of what we learn within 24 hours. These little strategic actions build a rock-solid foundation of knowledge brick by brick.
Now this next one, this might be the most important mindset shift of all. We are taught our whole lives to fear mistakes, right? But A students, they actually welcome them. Why? Because every mistake you make on a practice test or on your homework is an opportunity. It's like a flashing neon sign showing you exactly what you need to work on before it actually counts for your final grade.
And that leads perfectly into our third formula, using tests strategically. For most of us, a test is this final judgment, a huge source of anxiety. But for top students, a practice test or a quiz is just a powerful diagnostic tool. Think of it like a doctor's checkup. It's not there to punish you. It's there to give you critical data on where you need to get stronger before the big day.
And they do this using a process called a test post-mortem. See, it's not enough to just look at your test and see you got a question wrong. The crucial part is to understand why. Was it just a careless error? Did you totally misunderstand the core concept? Did you just forget a formula? Analyzing the reason for the error is the only way to make sure it never, ever happens again.
In fact, Adam Koo breaks mistakes down into 4 main buckets. Maybe you just didn't study that section at all. Or maybe you studied it, but you couldn't remember it under pressure. The most common one for a lot of people is unable to apply. You know the facts, but you can't actually use them to solve the problem. And then, of course, there are those super frustrating careless mistakes. By actually categorizing your errors, you start to see your own personal pattern, and then you can start fixing the root cause.
Okay, so let's pull all of this together now. Because these formulas, they don't just exist in a vacuum. They're all powered by one ultimate mindset, a complete operating system for how successful people approach any challenge, not just school.
So it all starts right here. This is super basic, right? Everyone, whether they end up succeeding or failing, follows this cycle. You set a goal, like maybe to get an A on a test, you take action, you study, and you get an outcome, your grade. Simple enough, right?
But
here's the moment of truth. What happens when that outcome isn't what you wanted, when you get a D instead of an A? This right here is the fork in the road. This is where average students and winners go in completely different directions.
Okay, this slide right here, this is everything. The average student internalizes failure. They make it about who they are. I'm just not smart enough. But the winner, they externalize it. They completely separate their identity from the outcome and they say, my strategy was ineffective. They don't blame their brain, they blame their plan. And then what do? They change the plan and they go again. They just keep going until they succeed.
So after walking through this whole framework, the power really is in your hands now. These aren't some deep, dark secrets that are reserved for a chosen few. They are concrete strategies that anyone can design and start using.
And that really is the core message, summed up in this great quote from Adam Koo. Success happens not by chance, but by design. You don't have to just hope for good grades. You don't have to sit around wishing you were smarter. You can actually design a system for yourself based on consistency, learning from feedback, and strategic action that leads you directly to the success you want.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. Looking at these three formulas, being consistent, learning from your mistakes, and using tests as a tool, what is the one small change you can make today to start designing your own success?